I'll bring the Tuolumne County Planning Commission meeting to order of November 4th, 2015. Please stand, join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, starting out with our Planning Commission business. Any reports from the staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I would like to congratulate Commissioner Mosley on her election as the Central District Director of the California Planning Commissioners Association. I would mention that we do not have any items for your meeting on November 17th, so, 18th, so we'll be canceling that meeting. At its meeting yesterday, the Tuolumne County Board of Supervisors discussed implementation of some recent state laws concerning medical marijuana.
We've been there and done that, I thought.
That's right. This will be deja vu. Yesterday, the board directed County Counsel's office to draft a medical marijuana ordinance, which is an amendment to the zoning ordinance. It is going to the board, the draft, on November 17th, and if the board is satisfied with it, it will be referred to your Planning Commission, likely for a hearing on December 2nd. So the medical marijuana may be coming to you on December 2nd. There is some urgency to get this heard and adopted by the board because the state law has established some deadlines. Otherwise, the state law would then, it would be defaulted, so that an opportunity for the county to exercise its local control does have deadlines. So I just want to give you a heads up. I won't know for sure until the board does decide if they are satisfied on the 17th. But that, as you know, could be a lengthy meeting. Those of you who have been through it before. And it could have a room full of people. So. Absolutely. John, question?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Shane, the last time this ordinance was drafted, I recall that a lot of members of the public were not happy with the draft, and I felt that it may have been because the only people involved in drafting it were largely planning and law enforcement. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if this time, if it might be impossible to get some other participants at the table who have information about it, and maybe somebody like care providers and maybe even marijuana people who provide it, somebody with knowledge about how the system works. Is that a possibility this time?
The board direction was twofold. That the council draft an ordinance that would ban or prohibit cultivation and selling of medical marijuana in Tuolumne County. But the second part of the motion is to come back on November 17th with a proposal for a task force or a working group who would have more time to work on an ordinance that could propose to regulate use in the county. So it'd be a two-step process.
I'd like to ask if I understood you correctly. You said the first of the process is to ban it outright?
Yes, because as you know, it's not allowed currently under our zoning ordinance, but it's not expressly stated, and that's really what the ordinance would do. It would expressly prohibit it to, again, clarify our current regulation in Tuolumne County. And that would then meet the deadline for the state under the new state law, and then a working group could be appointed by the board to have the time to look into regulations that might be more appropriate or more desirable in the county.
Well,
Okay.
no doubt we'll be living in interesting times.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Well, it'll never happen by December 2nd, I dare say, but okay.
I believe that the ordinance to ban will be ready for your planning commission.
But this task force,
No, that would be
that's
later.
beyond, okay.
That's the intent, is to give,
Well-
get adopted, again, an ordinance that would expressly prohibit it, which again is what we do now is prohibited under the zoning ordinance, but it's stated as permissible. If it doesn't, the ordinance says if you doesn't say you can do it, then you can't. This would be much clearer and more enforceable. And that's one of the concerns, but then it would allow the county to have plenty of time after adoption of that ordinance to talk about other ways they may wish to regulate it.
okay, I'd like to go on, but go ahead, Peter.
Just note that that is in the middle of the CSAC conference, which I'm a participant in, so I would not be here now. Not that I wouldn't want to be here.
Yeah. John has a question?
Just to note that I'll be in Petaluma then, but I would like to attend by telephone if we can arrange that.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And I assume that the ordinance will be distributed by, proposed ordinance, draft ordinance, distributed by email.
Oh, yes.
Before the
Yeah,
meeting?
we would have to do that by your typical 10 days ahead of time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other report from staff?
I may be able to do a phone too, I don't know.
Okay.
That'll be fun.
That's all I have tonight.
That's enough from you. Okay, reports from the commissioners. I will call on Charlotte Frazier to report on our convention we attended.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A contingent of commissioners from Tuolumne County and the largest group attended October 23rd and 24th at June Lake. It was very, very interesting. On Friday, at the community center, we all gathered at 8 a.m. and we stayed until 4, had presentations that entire time. I won't go into each presentation or even one presentation, but I will tell you that they were all videoed and should be online, so commissioners who might like to look at them could certainly do that. Now, they may not be posted as yet, and I have not checked, but they will be posted, and I have the email address. I also brought the materials if anyone is interested in going through. You're certainly welcome to do that. On Saturday, we boarded a bus at 8:30 a.m. and spent the whole day field tripping. We went to Bridgeport and saw the most unusual parking arrangement we have ever seen. We went to the Mono Basin Scenic Area Visitor Center and learned a great many interesting things. Had lunch at the Mono Inn, went to Mammoth Lakes. We went to a geothermal facility, spent, I'm going to guess maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Got lots and lots of information, most of which I did not understand. There was no quiz. We went to the Nevada UCSB Reserve, Nevada Aquatic Research Laboratory, which was fascinating. It was absolutely fascinating. I didn't even know such a thing existed. At any rate, we returned to June Lake. We had an evening banquet. I don't think I told you that we rode the tram up June Mountain, which was great fun. It was very interesting. It was very informative. And we were all just delighted that the county was willing to have us go. So we thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Charlotte. All right, that takes care of number one. Number two, report from the Board of Supervisors Planning Committee representative.
Mr. Chairman, the committee has not met.
Thank you. Report from the Ag Advisory Committee representative.
Mr. Chairman, the committee has not met, and Chairman Plan has submitted an application for appointment to that committee, which has not yet been scheduled for the Board of Supervisors.
Okay, thank you. Then the minutes of the meeting of October 21st. I think you all have a copy of them. Presume you've read those. And do we have any corrections or additions? John?
I have a correction. One of the notes in the minutes says that we spoke briefly about a possibility of a meeting on December 16th and 17th. Do you remember that?
Yes.
and that all the commissioners indicated they could make both those meetings. I will be in Petaluma during that time, and if we have the meetings in, I will need to attend by phone.
Okay. Any other? If not, may I have a motion regarding the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. I guess, is that a correction, Ms. Shane, that we need to make on his comment? Or are you just giving us as information, or is that a correction to the minutes?
Well, the minutes say I indicated that I would be here, and I did not indicate I would be here, but I also did not clarify that I couldn't be here. But I can be here by phone, so maybe it's fine the way it is.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's fine, okay.
Okay. Okay, we do have a motion to adopt, and I'll call a question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. That is unanimously approved. Okay, let's see. Public comment period. Anybody wish to address the commission on any item that's not on the agenda? Okay, I don't see anybody, and with that, now we will go to the public hearing on our agenda business. First item, Carruthers. Usually there's an A, isn't it Carruthers? But anyway, this is Carruthers, which is an ordinance for zone change to rezone 4/10 of an acre of open space to RE5, and then rezone 4/10 of another acre to O. So there's kind of a wash. Staff report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Carruthers 2006 Revocable Trust owns a 5.8 acre parcel that's located at 20709 Green Acres Road in Mona Vista. The applicant is Lance Carruthers, and he is asking for your support this evening to rezone 4/10 of an acre of open space, which currently exists on the site, to residential state 5 acre minimum, and in exchange to rezone 4/10 of an acre from RE5 to open space. This would allow him to build a 4,000 square foot garage and shop close to the northerly property boundary line within what is currently zoned open space. That area features an existing cleared space, so the vegetation has already been removed or was removed in the past. A portion of the PG&E easement also crosses over the open space. So the property that's proposed to be zoned to open space along the the westerly property boundary features a much higher value of habitat worthy of protection in the open space. It has oak woodlands, and again, because the site where they want to build the garage is already cleared, we feel that the exchange of the open space is appropriate. In processing this application, we did receive one letter from a neighboring property owner who was concerned that the new garage shed building could be used for commercial purposes, as noted in the agenda report. We do allow home occupations in all of our residential zoning districts, but the building would have to, or the use would have to comply with our home occupations regulations if they chose to use it for that purpose. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'll be happy to answer your questions.
Any questions of the commissioners? Before we go to the public, don't see any. With that, I'll open the public hearing. Those in favor will speak first, those opposed will speak second, and those who are neutral will speak third. Anybody wish to speak in favor of this project? Yes, sir. Please come up. Please.
Hi, I'm Rob Keith from Keith Designs, and basically just here, in case you have any questions, I'm here representing the Carruthers. Lance couldn't be here tonight. I'm here with Debbie Carruthers. So just here in case you have any questions.
Any questions, Mr. Okay, thank you very much. Anybody wish to speak in opposition? Anybody wish to speak neutrally? Seeing no one. Close the public hearing, bring the matter back to the commission for discussion and action. Action? No discussion? Peter?
I would make a motion to approve based on findings A through D.
Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Any further discussion? Calling the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So ordered unanimously.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you. Next item is the Miller property to rezone a 30-acre parcel from RE10 to A20. Staff report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you noted, Jeff and Sandy Miller have applied to rezone their 30-acre parcel that is located at 21881 Ball Mountain Road from RE10 residential state 10-acre minimum to general agricultural 20-acre minimum. They are making this request so that they can build 2 homes on their property. The RE10 zoning currently in existence on their property limits them to 1 home per parcel. The residential density under their general plan land use designation of large lot residential is 1 dwelling unit per 10 acres. Then the proposed A20 zoning is consistent with that land use designation because it does allow for 2 homes on 20 acres or 1 dwelling unit per 10 acres. On this particular project, we did contact adjoining property owners, and we did not receive any written comments. We did receive a call from one neighbor who had questions about the proposed project.
Any questions of staff? If not, we'll go to the public. Anybody wish to speak in favor of this project is welcome to address the commission.
Hello, my name's Jeff Miller. This is my wife, Sandy Miller. We really don't want to build a neighborhood up there. We just, we can't really even afford to build our first house yet, but when we do, we want to build like a carriage house with a dwelling up above. And then when we can't afford it, build the real house. And instead of gutting out what we've already done in the carriage house, we'd like to keep it for our aging parents. Basically a mother-in-law type place is what we were hoping for. So that was just to clarify, and if you have any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Miller?
No.
Seeing none, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody wish to speak in opposition? Anybody wish to speak neutrally? Seeing none, close the public hearing, bring the matter back to the commission, discussion and/or action.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the zone change, RZ 15-011, inclusive of findings A, B, C, and D.
Is there a second to that?
I'll second.
Have a second, thank you. Any further discussion? I call the question. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So ordered unanimously. Thank you very much. And with that, I don't think we have any other business tonight, no other reports or anything. And with that, I will close the commission meeting.
Thank you, sir.
So short and sweet.